I've just found this stand fan outside in the dumpster. One of the residents abandoned it, but there's nothing wrong with this fan. It obviously is leaning on a strange angle, but I can almost guarantee there's nothing wrong with the motor, and it can be sorted out in no time. The reason, and somebody diligently cut the power cord off it. The reason why it's leaning forward has to do with this bolt here. And this bolt here is supposed to be a clamp bolt. That's clamp bolt continues in this case in this direction, where it should be in this direction, exerting force on the tube on the stand here, making this part of the fan here more upright. So I'm gonna examine what happened to this. Oh, by the way, it's a made in China fan. It's probably worthless. Made in 2010. I can probably get a few more years out of this free fan otherwise. And what happened to this bolt here, you can see it's on a strange angle now, and I'm sure this can be remedied because nothing else seems to be broken. And there's also a rubber band or elastic on the fan here up top, which is a strange why somebody would put this one here, but when you look at it, this is why they put the elastic on it. This front screws with 4 screws. You can see the screw holes without the screws, 1, 2, 3, and the 4th one on the other side there. Those 4 screw holes line up with the housing. The housing has 4 screw holes in them. One in here. Let's see, another one in here. You kind of get the idea. I will take it apart and put it together, and we'll show you the detail. Let's get to work. So let me show you the pieces here. This one is a threaded component that comes off of this one, and this is the part with the screw holes. The screws, it actually only needs 2 screws because 2 of them are threaded holes. The 2 screws must have vibrated out of there, and I don't see anything wrong with that screw thread as is, and I'm sure I'll be able to find some screws that match the screw hole. Yeah, just 2 of them, because there's nothing there and there's nothing there. Other than that, the fan blade just slides off just like so of the shaft. It has a flat side to it, so you have to find the flat side on the blade there. And then this one is just, it says loosen on it in one direction there, tighten one way and loosen that way. There, you can read it. And the grill, of course, just comes apart very simply with these tabs that rotate up to open the 2 halves together and rotate down to close the two halves. So very straightforward. It doesn't need any tools so far. None. No tools of any kind whatsoever. I just need to find 2 screws there. Oh yeah, and of course I forgot the power cord. Okay, I'm gonna find something for that too. There, I needed 1 screwdriver now to take the upper half apart. Oh, I have taken it off the stand. I'll show you this screw situation here. The screw is flawless. It's not threaded through the plastic, of course. It goes into a metal nut there, and it's flawless. The plastic is a little bit chewed up around it, but it will still function because the thread is not stripped in the metal. There is no thread in the plastic. And the shape of the stand has been a little bit butchered by the previous user when owner when they tried to tighten the screw into awkward angles and spots where the screw shouldn't be going. The screw should go into the groove, of course, but if that's overcomplicated to owner, that happens. And you can see the screw being over tightened there at that spot. And yeah, so the fan doesn't stand up in an upright position. That's tightening the screws doesn't fix it, you see. So I'm gonna have to straighten this pipe or just cut it off there, and I don't know, I'll figure out something. In terms of power cord, I have taken out 5 screws, 2 there, 1 there, and 2 there, and then the front opens like so to replace the power cord. This is where the power cord came in. This is the cut-off bit, and it goes to the other side there and comes out here. It goes to this thing here that can be cut off and re-crimped. Crimp it together with a wire nut, very straightforward, and the other one goes into there. So super simple. This is just friction fit again, just snaps in place. And let me see what kind of letters are on it. Well, okay, you can't see the letters this way, so I'm gonna rotate this around. And letters wise, where the power goes, yeah, now it's upside down. Well, anyhow, that's where the power cord goes, and it's very simple to take it out and crimp it back or snap it back to the same spot. Very easy. I'll show you how it looks like when I'm done. So this little bit of wire came out in 20 seconds using this cutesy little IKEA pliers, nothing else. And with it I had to, there's the hole for it. I had to compress this part that was filling the hole with of course the wire in between these two halves. So that's also how it's gonna go back together. And it's just there, the two halves go together like so, and they fill the hole. It's good as is. Yeah, don't worry about that little bit of plastic. That's how it was. So the wire just goes in between the two. That's how it's fitted together. There's the permanent crimp or the permanent wiggle on the wire caused by this clamping component. And I want to point out something here. So this was in the switch. This soldered end was in the switch, and this was leading to a wire nut being connected to this wire that was brown. Very straightforward. That wire nut also got softened up with this pliers. It was just squished from the side, so the inside opens up and goes from a flattened state. Let me just get you a sharp picture. There you can see into a circular state. So now it's circular enough so I can slide the wire out from it there. So sometimes these are reusable, sometimes not. I think if I flatten it again, crimp it again when I put it back together, it'll still work. And one thing that's important to note is that this soldered wire that went into the switch was the wire that has no grooves on the jacketing. You see, this jacketing is smooth, and the other one has some grooves around the edge. Let's see, how do I get a good picture of it? Yeah, look at it here. There, so those are the grooves, yes, on one of the jacketing, but the other one is smooth on the outside, yes. So the smooth has the silver soldering on it, and the smooth, we're gonna have to find a molded, preferably a molded extension cord, but the one with the ridges goes, well, it goes either to the neutral or to the power. We're going to find an extension cord and look at it. Very straightforward. Yeah, I just grabbed this pencil sharpener, and in standard North American wiring it's got the same molded plug with the same jacketing feature. So the grooves you can see on this time it's black. So the grooves are on one wire or one side of the jacketing, but not on the other. So the grooves here go to the power prong that's connected to the live circuit, and the other one is the neutral. Alright, so grooves go with the power. Alright, so that's how the new extension cord also needs to be wired up. That this one leads, the soldered one, the switch where it was in the switch, that leads to the hot wire. So let's get to work. Done with the soldering, and this is how the wire end looks like. I found black extension or cable for it, so it's gonna be black jacketed now, not white. So that's how the soldered one looks like, and the other one is bare. On this color scheme, neutral is jacketed white and has a white tracer on the outside jacketing as well, and the other one is the live or line or hot wire that's connected to the molded plug accordingly. So the neutral has this wider blade like so, and that's where the white jacketing starts there. So this was crimped and this was soldered and pressed in place. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do here. And this brown wire and this white will be twisted together and crimped with this one, and the soldered wire end goes into the switch here where it says L on it. That's where it came out of. Here in the corner it says L, and you can see some springy push plates underneath. Let me just show you how that works with this metal piece here I have. So maybe I'll put my hand over here. This is how it looks like when a wire is pushed into it there. Okay, and it springs back and comes out. So that's all the connection. Yes, it's just a friction fit, but it works inside. An otherwise non-moving component, because the switch has moving components, but it's not the wire that's moving. So I'm just gonna connect it and see if the motor runs. So crimped, connected, and is also plugged in over here. So let's fire it up for the first time and see how it works. Let's see. Oh, that's cute. That runs flawlessly. There, it even rotates on its own, but I guess that can be stopped. There. Fantastic. How about speed 2? Works. Speed 1. Yeah. Fantastic. Alright. So, all I need to do is unplug it. And then I have these ones to install, fairly straightforward, and we'll show you how it fits on the post. Gonna be fairly straightforward. And this is how the pipe looks like when it's fixed. You can see this was the super deep dimple that's been pushed out. It's fairly easy. And there was another one there, and then another one there. So that's how it looks like. Unfortunately, during the operation I split the pipe right there and there because it's got such a thin wall. If you look into it, it's really skinny, but no problem. Other pipes exist, such as the one on the left. It's not painted white just yet. So, you know, different pipes exist with thicker walls. Now this one, the edge of the pipe is folded back, so it looks about as thick as this, but this one is actually a thick walled pipe. Different pipe schedule. A pipe schedule is a thing, I have another video on that. And what I use for displacing the metal is a bunch of sockets
one of these round shapes fit. I was trying with this one, something like that. You get the idea. And this is also when and how the pipe was split. So that's a super easy thing to fix. I switched to two-hand operation with a suitable sized slip jaw the pliers, so this was holding the pipe from further splitting while I was trying on it to finish the rest of the dimples. So changing this pipe is super easy. I'm just gonna leave it in because this doesn't just slide out of this plastic item here, and this plastic thing is held in place by the dimple there, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. What we've got here is, and of course, the rest of the fan, fully functional, has been working for over a month here. So I'm just gonna put it here. There, that's how it looked like when it was together. You can see this is how the new cable looks like, and this is how this little connector went into place. I had to compress this with a bench vise so as to put the initial zig into the wire. And meanwhile I'm tightening this one, but not too much. It's still on a stupid angle or so, because the plastic around that wire, around that nut and that bolt has been kind of enlarged or stretched out or whatever, but it doesn't have to be sitting perfectly vertically. It's good enough as is, and it's working fantastically well there. So they stay together enough, like so, when they are being lifted and transported from one place to another. It's not an ideal angle, but you know, it works. There's no need to throw these kind of things away at the first sight of something loose on it. And last notes here, that was the bolt that was missing originally, and that one of them is stripped out, but you know, over the last month here at my place, these two bolts are holding enough to have the grill solidly in place. I'm just gonna wash this fan blade because now it's fuzzy and hairy there at the leading edge. So that's all I wanted to share about this fan. Super easy.